All right, what's going on, everybody? You know why we're here. Obviously, you can read the title, but also the breaking news through the NBA world right now. James Harden is now a Brooklyn Net. All right, first initial thoughts when you saw this trade, guys. Break it down.
Go ahead, Trey.
All right. I thought it was interesting. I thought in my head, whenever I was thinking it through, I was like, man, if the Rockets got Karis LeVert, I still think that they're a competitive team. But it's not even like they got Karis. They didn't get Jarrett. But they did get a former two-time All-Star and Victor Oladipo. So I think it was good for the Rockets. They get a cancer out of the locker room. Me and Fred have talked about this before on our podcast, that there's nothing worse than a mad superstar because they can make life miserable for everyone. And the way he was going about it, he kind of pouted his way out. He got his way at the end. And, there's only one ball. We'll see how the Nets do. But just initial thoughts, I thought good. And then the Cavs sneak in and probably win the deal, getting Jared Allen for a second-round pick.
Yeah.
So,
Fred, what do you think, man?
I wasn't so much shocked. I don't like the fit. I'm going to be honest. I'm just not a fan of the fit. I don't think those three. I think I was telling y'all beforehand. I don't think they think Kyrie's coming back. I don't think they got better. I think they were scrambling. And I don't know how James and KD are going to work out together. I don't think James is a good teammate, plain and simple.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I think they gave up too much too.
Oh no, I can definitely agree to that. This is probably the first super team that I've seen in a while where it's like you don't know how they turn out. Whereas I feel like when LeBron went to Miami, you were like, okay, they're going to be dominant for however long. And
even when they struggled, you're like, yeah, they're going to put it together.
When he joined the Warriors, everybody knew what was happening there. Mm-hmm. So this one, it's like, man, I have no clue. Like I can see them being super successful, but at the same time, given their personalities, and I'll break down what I think about the three superstars personalities in a little bit, but it's like, dude, this could go really, really bad at the same time.
I think it's gonna go bad. I think Steve Nash has got his hands full.
Dude,
I feel bad.
I feel so bad for Steve Nash. Steve Nash, one of my favorite players of all time, and I feel really bad for him. But anytime for the last however long, I guess since the season started, anytime I get an ESPN update on my phone, or an update on my phone, I'm literally picking it up, even if I'm at work or whatever, because I think it's a Harden trade.
Yeah,
I picked it up today, and I saw the trade, and I didn't really get a chance to open it up and read in full detail the trade because I was working. But I opened it up and I was like, what?
They just kept going. It was one thing happened after another. I was like,
at around 10-ish, I texted Fred. I said, bro, rumors are swirling. A deal's going to get done today. I was like, it looks like the 76ers and the Nets are the final two. And it looks like, the Rockets want Simmons, Thibault, Maxey, and they want some more. And then from the Nets side, I thought they were going to get LeVert, Allen, and some picks, and then we look and it's like, wow. And then it all happened so fast.
So to clarify, the Rockets were asking Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, and multiple unprotected first-round picks from the 76ers.
Not a bad offer.
I'm glad they didn't do it though. I'm really glad. I would ultimately rather see Harden in Philadelphia than Brooklyn. But still, I'm glad the 76ers did not give up that much because I think it's too much.
If James was going to work in Philadelphia, Ben Simmons had to go.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I don't think giving up Maxey and Thibault. I think probably I think Thibault and Simmons and maybe two first round picks was the most I think I'd be willing to give up. But to break it down, we'll break it down here real quick. 4-team trade, so there's a lot to read off here. The Nets get James Harden. The Rockets get Victor Oladipo, which came out of nowhere. Dante Exum from the Cavs. Kuruc, I don't know how to say his name, from Brooklyn. 3 Brooklyn first-round picks, 1 Milwaukee first-round pick, and 4 Brooklyn first-round swaps. The Pacers are getting Karis LeVert and a second-rounder. And the Cavs, out of nowhere, get Jared Allen and Taurean Prince. So if you look at that on paper, man, that's so much. And the Nets only get James Harden. That's crazy.
The Rockets won this trade, I think.
I would lean Cavs just because they snuck in there. And okay, so let's start.
I actually have RJ Drummond, bro. I mean,
they got their young guys. Okay, listen here.
Yeah,
Jared Allen, 22.
I agree.
Jared Allen, 22. Larry Nance, a little older, 28. Seti Osman, 25. Isaac Okoro, 19. Darius Garland, 20. Colin Sexton, 22. Andre Drummond, 27. But listen, trade Drummond and trade Kevin Love, and then you have the foundation of a rebuilding team that has their two guards, has their defensive anchor in the post, who will average 12 and 12 with about 2 blocks a game. And he doesn't require the ball. He can work off the ball. Colin Sexton attacking, can throw little lobs. You know, it has the makeup to be like they just snuck in there and got 2 rotational guys. And
Sure.
like, okay.
I think the only thing they gave up was Exum and a first round pick. I'm pretty sure if I read that correctly.
They gave up a first.
Yeah,
I don't.
I mean,
it was a late first. It was like a Milwaukee Buck first.
Okay,
so
that might
they
be
get up there first.
I think that's where this.
No, not there first. It was a late first round pick.
Okay, then they have to move Love and Drummond. They have to move one of them.
Yeah,
they'll move them.
That's Drummond is going to be easier to move because of Kevin Love's contract and how much older he is,
and how well Drummond's
3 years left, I think, too.
Drummond's playing out his mind.
And
you got to move him while he's hot.
The Cavs are interesting, man. Kevin Porter Jr., Isaac Okoro, 2 guys.
I forgot Kevin Porter.
Yeah,
is he playing this year? I thought he got suspended.
Is it the full year though?
I'm not sure. I'll check.
But they have a nice, like, if you're a Cavs fan, you go to bed knowing like you have somewhat of a future now that
your GM is still trying to put together a team for the future, and they're still thinking. Like, to hop in a 4-team deal of this magnitude for an organization is a big deal, and it's a big deal for the Pacers getting off that expiring contract.
Jared Allen was on the trading block. There's going to be a lot more teams offering a lot more than what the Cavs did. So it's
I would agree.
You snuck in. You got a good player, not a great player. I don't think he'll ever be a great player. But alongside,
he is what he is. He is
alongside those 2 young guards, dude. He looked pretty solid.
Yeah,
Kevin Porter's out. He's been out indefinitely with a personal issue. I thought
he got like arrested or something, didn't he?
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Now, one of my previous videos, when I broke down I broke down probably 10 Harden trades. I had Harden at the end. I said I wanted Harden to go to Indiana. Obviously, this didn't happen.
That'd been crazy.
Indiana ended up in this trade somehow as well.
I think they came out good, man.
Giving up Oladipo because he's on an expiring, and with all the rumor, like I broke down like how he's expressed how he feels, like he's feeling really good and he likes the culture there and he's like playing there. It's like, dude, if I've learned anything, you can't trust an NBA superstar anymore. Like, loyalty is nothing in the NBA.
Yeah, but in the offseason, everybody's talking about how he didn't want to be there.
Exactly.
Like, where'd that come from? They don't just say that.
When you get all the rumors going around, I think giving him up for a guy that's maybe like a year or 2 younger than him, they're around the same age. I don't know. And Karis LeVert, like, I think I've heard a lot of people today talk about they think Karis LeVert's going to break out now, and I think he really has that potential. Troy, me and you were talking about that before we got on video.
Oh, yeah, I love Karis LeVert.
Talk about Karis LeVert a little bit.
All right, well, Karis. For the Brooklyn Nets, without Kyrie, he was averaging just about 23.5 points per game. And with a guy like Kyrie and Kevin Durant, even whenever Kyrie was out, he still came off the bench, which is interesting. I will be intrigued to see if the Pacers keep him on the bench or if they are like, okay, we're going to push you into the starting lineup, let you grow, let you develop, and be that guy. But on the whole season, he averaged 18.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 6 assists, and right around 44% from the field. And he averaged just about 28 minutes. And off the bench, that's big minutes. And again, a big piece of the Nets is gone. And another rotation like Allen, he averaged 26.7 minutes. And then Taurean Prince averaged just about 20 minutes per game. They lost a lot of depth in this. And Karis LeVert, one of those guys, silky smooth. If you watch him, that's the first thing that comes to mind. You're like, wow, this kid is smooth, especially with a guy whenever Kyrie was out. He got to showcase his skills. And
I think the most important factor is that he's played alongside stars and he can buy into his role very, very well. And when you look at Indiana, who I really like, and I'll talk. Is our bet about Indiana still on now?
Yeah, it's still on. Still on.
All right. Hopefully
you'll win the bet, but it's still on.
Yeah. Okay. When you have him alongside Sabonis and Brogdon, who's actually playing really well as well.
He'll step in nice too with TJ Warren being out.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly. And so it's like, whereas Oladipo has been an all-star before, so he might feel more like I need the ball more than LeVert. Like LeVert could play alongside these guys in Indiana super, super well. Indiana's got a nice team, man. They're looking really good right now. I like Indiana a lot.
The only question mark now is depth. If they bring Karras off the bench, it gets a little bit better. But off their bench, they got Edmund Sumners, who is a very nice rotational guy. I like Edmund Sumners. Doug McDermott, who can't guard me. Aaron Holiday, who's a nice young point guard.
Doesn't he start? I think Aaron Holiday's been starting at the one.
I looked at their last game, and he did, but I put Karis LeVert into the starting line.
That's my worry with them. Who's going to play the one?
Malcolm Brogdon, probably.
Brogdon.
He's been playing on ball with them.
I love Brogdon.
He's been playing well.
Yeah,
Sabonis.
Yeah, and I think if you bring LeVert off the bench, the rotation with like Sabonis, you could take Sabonis out, bring LeVert in, and then bring LeVert with. I think LeVert and Sabonis could be very interesting.
Well, that offense runs through Sabonis. I mean, he's a good passer.
As it should.
He's a crazy good passer.
Yeah. So yeah, those two teams that came out of nowhere, I think I wouldn't say won because both teams won the trade. You know what? I'll just say it. Both those teams won the trade.
They got better. I mean,
yeah. And then as we take a look at what the Rockets got, Oladipo coming out of nowhere. And when I first saw Oladipo got traded, I was like, man, why? What are the Pacers doing? They're playing good right now. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, I mean, he's coming off an injury, so he's not 100%.
Right.
He was still putting up pretty good numbers,
averaging about 20 a game.
20, like 6 and 4, I think, or something like that.
I still think he's one of the top two-way players in the league.
Yeah, I mean maybe. But yeah, getting him out of nowhere, I think it shows that like it gives a little bit of hope to the Rockets fans. Like we're not just going to tank. Like we're going to try to put a team that's going to at least make the playoffs.
If anything, you got that toxicity out of the locker room.
Oh, you could literally get rid of James Harden for anything at this point. And see, I was telling Troy this. I had an idea for a video I was going to come home and do tonight, and it was what gave me the motivation was seeing DeMarcus Cousins bash James Harden, and I was like, okay,
he won't hold anything back.
I was like, I have this idea for a video, and I'm going to really break it down. I'm not going to really give details because hopefully I'll do it here soon, but. Yeah, like that's what I was like, dude, it's over in Houston. I was like, at first I'm like, and I'll cover this a little bit more when we get to the Nets. Harden pouted his way out. So it's like but like ultimately he gets what he wants. And that's what angers me the most about this trade. It's like, dude, like he and the Rockets kind of catered to him all along. Like he always was pouting for a new superstar, and they traded away so much to bring in a superstar every time, traded a ton away for Russell Westbrook. And so it's like he's so used to being catered to that no wonder when he wants out, he's going to start pouting and he's not going to show up. And it's like that's what angers me the most about this is you get a diva like James Harden. I used to really like James Harden. Like a lot of people say he was boring to watch and all these things. I gave him credit. I'm like, dude, he's really, really good at basketball.
Best scorer in the league
watched him play in Dallas. I'm like, dude, I really like his game. I ran into him at a restaurant after the game, but that's another story. But yeah. So, but like all respect lost for Harden here, man. It's like. He pouts his way out and gets what he wants, and that's what's driving me insane the most.
I think him and Kyrie. Sorry to cut you off, Troy. I think him and Kyrie's personalities are going to clash so bad.
Dude, I don't know what to expect out of Kyrie. Dude, like, is he?
He's not coming back. I'm telling you, he's not
going to show back up. What? Like, and the dude's been out of his mind this year. Like, he's weird, man. Yeah. And
quick little side note before we get into the Nets here. Victor Oladipo, he can be traded again before the deadline. And I want to keep that. He can. He can be traded. So his little like previously traded thing expires March 4th. The deadline is March 25th. So I just want to keep that in mind. And I think if the Rockets, start working their wheels here, I think he could be a guy around trade deadline that moves, and that because I think he makes around $24 million, which isn't a hard contract to move. You could move him to a team that has some pick capital, maybe like the Celtics, and you can get a couple picks and maybe like a Marcus Smart in return. And then you got a younger guy along with some picks for an expiring deal in Victor Oladipo that will ultimately go on to a contender and, help a team.
If I'm the Celtics, I'm not trading Marcus Smart.
Well, that's just an option.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's gonna, but it's just something to keep your eye on, and that I think Victor Oladipo will not end the year in the Houston Rockets. That's my.
I think it'll work out in there, bro. I think it's gonna work out real nice.
You think they're gonna pay him?
I think he sticks around this year. I think he sticks around till the end of the year, and if it doesn't work out, let him go.
Is he on an expiring deal?
Yes, he is.
Okay,
and he'll be like one of the most highly targeted free agents too.
Unless he just tears it up, and they just throw all the time on him.
He's gonna have the opportunity.
Looking at what else the Rockets got, they brought in Dante Exum, which I think like he is a guy that he hasn't stuck out anyway, but it's like that's a guy that like who he is. He's a player in the NBA. But not just like one of these guys that just randomly shows up on a roster. So
he's
it's like
a rotation guy.
Yeah, coming off your bench, I think that's a nice pick because who is their backup point guard now? I can't think of. Yeah, see, exactly.
Couldn't tell you.
They didn't really have.
Was it that one? Is it that one kid from Ohio State?
Jason Tate? No, he's more of like a forward.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really. They still are in that like positionless style, but then now they have more bigs, obviously. But realistically, they didn't really play anybody.
They had one point guard on roster.
Yeah, and their backup Chris Clemens, he tore his Achilles in preseason.
They have Mason Jones, Ben McLemore, Shannon Brown.
Harden did most of it.
Yeah, see, exactly. So it's like bringing in Exum is a nice guy to bring off the bench.
Christian Wood, man. Woo.
Wood's been balling. Wood has been. And now I'm interested. I'm interested to see what he looks like without Harden. Because
they can have fun now. I mean, they're gonna play loose.
I mean, again, just think about the Houston Rockets gave up James Harden. That is it, and they got 4 first, a pick, 4 swaps.
Yeah,
that's
the most important thing. That's the most important thing of this trade. I think is they are bringing in picks, whereas previous trades they had given up every pick.
In the summer, they gave up Rocco to the Portland Trailblazers, got a first. Now they send off Harden and get like 8 picks in return. Whereas for the Westbrook deal, I think they set 3 or 4 first. So they're starting. This GM is being very smart for the Rockets. This new GM, he's done a really good job. And all praise to the Rockets GM. I think he did a very good job and moving so swiftly. Whenever everything started exploding, he got out of there just in time. And I think perfect job.
You know who I think won the trade out of all the teams here? Steven Silas. I feel so bad for that guy. Felt horrible for him.
Yeah, poor guy.
He's been in the league for a long time as an assistant coach. Finally gets his opportunity, and 2 of his superstars went out. They trade one of them, and then you get Harden acting like a little diva. And so
who's the other one that wants out?
Do what?
Who's the other superstar?
Russell Westbrook.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
Yeah. I
was like, I think John wants it there.
a relief for Steven Silas, and I think now there's no pressure. I don't know. I don't know what to expect of the Rockets. I don't know if anybody
roll the ball out there and have fun. That's what I'm telling the guys.
Yeah, like what do you have to lose at this point? I think everybody's going to be sleeping on you because
Boogie's got money to be made. Oladipo's got money to be made. John Wall's got respect that he wants to get back, and John Wall is a really good player, but he's got to earn that respect back because a lot of people forget who he is, and they got a hungry group of guys. If there's something, and Jason Tate has come in and really played well, kid from Ohio State. Shout out Chase. But yeah, it's just PJ Tucker's a dog. I think PJ Tucker is an interesting one as well. Who
I think
he
could
be moved. He's a little veteran. I've
heard he wants. A lot of teams are expressing interest now.
PJ Tucker's a dog, man, and so
here's my thing.
McLemore's tough.
I can't believe the Nets just went all in.
Yeah, let's get to the Nets. Let's close it out
quickly. Where do you expect the Rockets to finish the year?
Outside the playoff picture,
right? I think right outside.
You think playing tournament?
If they keep it together, if they keep Oladipo, and if they keep Tucker, I think they'll be in the play.
If they stay healthy, that's the key.
I could see like 9 or 10 seed.
Yeah, I think they'll get in the play-in tournament.
Maybe 10 or 8 seed.
I think they got better today.
They definitely
will say that.
They got James Harden out. They got better. Like Caleb said, they could have got anybody.
And real quick, since we're closing statement on the Hornets here, let me pull this up. This was a quote from January 9th from James Harden. Okay. James Harden, we got a lot of work to do. I think every team feels this way. We just haven't had the opportunity to work together very often. As long as we continue to find chemistry, to find pace on both ends of the floor, we got a chance to do something special. Okay. That was January 9th, 2021. He then goes on to play the Lakers twice on a Sunday and a Tuesday. James Harden, then after that game, I love the city. I've done everything I can. The situation is crazy. I don't think it can be fixed.
I can't believe he said that.
Gets up, walks off. Like, dude, you're like, quit being a coward.
Within a 3-day period, it goes from we just got to find our chemistry, we can do something special, to I've done all I can, see you.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, come on, stop that.
So,
and that's all I want to get off my chest.
If you look at the Nets roster now, with this trade being done, you have Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, DeAndre Jordan, Joe Harris, Landry Shamet, Tyler Johnson, Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot.
He's kind of good.
He's tough.
Jeff Green, Bruce Brown, Nicholas Claxton, Reggie Perry, Chris Chiozza, and Spencer Dinwiddie, who's hurt.
They're kind of young off the bench, bro. They got.
They also have 3 roster spots, so they got some wiggle room.
They got $5 million or something.
See them when buyouts come around. Getting a solid piece.
Like a Trevor Ariza.
They need another veteran is what they need.
Maybe a PJ Tucker.
They need a level-headed guy in there.
I feel so bad for Steve Nash. I don't know how he's gonna tame those personalities together.
Dude, they've lost for a while. The Nets last season, they were built, and for honestly the last 2 years, because D'Angelo Russell really led them to the playoffs as like a 7 seed a few years ago, and everybody was talking about their depth and they're young and they play really hard, and then last year everybody opted out, but they still found their way into the playoffs through the bubble, and they played hard, they pushed. I think they won a game 4-1 without 90% of their players. And, they had Jamal Crawford out there. They had Michael Beasley, I think, was out there. They had some guys out there. You're like, these dudes shouldn't be in the league anymore. Yeah. And now they're kind of just all of a sudden shifted into superstar, and then get rid of all the guys that we've brought in, built, established, grown with over the last few years, and just dealt them for these guys that you're not even promised to win. The Celtics are still very good, guys. The Celtics are not one that is just going away. They have
Jaylen Brown, bro.
The Bucks are out there. It's just, to me, man, it's weird. It's weird.
It's like you have the 3 faces of this franchise are 3 divas. Let's be honest.
Who's the leader?
Kevin Durant.
It's
scary when Kevin Durant is your vocal leader, because
he'll be on Twitter burner.
You can build a super team around LeBron because he's the best leader in basketball history, in my opinion.
I really do believe. I don't know. KD's so soft. I'll be honest. Mentally, so soft. So soft. In my opinion.
Hey, TikTok.
Right.
So KD is soft.
He's mentally so how are you going to have a bunch of burner accounts and go to Twitter, and it's I've watched him on interviews where he's just you can tell he's just sensitive. I'm like, dude,
he is very sensitive.
Dude, plain and simple, Troy said it best. The NBA is the best in the business, best league, and can I speak?
It's fun, man,
in the world.
Keep you on your toes.
And then you look at, and don't let this hoodie fool you. I just wore it because we're talking about the Nets. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not.
I'm repping the Jazz today. So.
I like that. It's just with all this stuff around Kyrie too, is really starting to piss me off, man. It's
dude. I'm not mad or anything. I'm just confused. I'm just like, dude. Stephen A. said it best. Retire if you don't want to play.
I saw somebody. I think it was Kenny. Troy, that was on Twitter saying I've called in sick to work before. It's yeah, but at the same time, if I call in sick one day, I'm not missing a week. And then if I
get caught partying
I went to out in the public and got caught without a mask on, my work would yell at me and I would have serious consequences. I wouldn't just be told, okay, stay away.
Now he's in health and safety protocols.
And just
And he's
because he's a
doing it
superstar,
weak,
just because he's a superstar, he should not be treated any different. He
And
needs
fun
then
fact,
he's talking
since
about-
since you threw in that LeBron nugget, I'm gonna throw in another nugget tonight. After the game tonight, where they absolutely demolished the Oklahoma City Thunder, shouts out Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron said how serious they take the protocols. In the bubble, Alex Caruso, he missed his sister's wedding because he didn't want to distract the team and he didn't want to go away from the team.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie Irving wants to go to his sister's birthday party and without a mask and, be caught there and, step away from the team. Whatever the personal reasons are, cool, man. But at the end of the day, you're getting paid an absurd amount of money to go hoop. So go hoop and
just be responsible. Like, dude,
you got teammates too. How can someone let their teammates down like that? That don't make no sense to me.
That's not a leader, man. It's not a leader.
Before we got on here, I saw a tweet saying Kyrie Irving is furious with the Nets organization for not giving him more input on the hiring of Steve Nash.
Okay, so here's the thing. Was he always like this and then LeBron just kept him in a straight line, or like where did this come from?
I think so.
Because when he got to Boston, I felt like everything just went downhill for him.
Well, once Kyrie spoke out about LeBron has been nothing but good to Kyrie. And now all of a sudden Kyrie's like Kevin Durant's the only.
How reliable that source is for that tweet, I don't know. I'm just like, at this point, it's believable with everything.
And early on, whenever there were rumors about Harden to the Nets, there were rumors that he didn't want Harden here. And so now it's like, I heard, friends joking around. They're like, trade him for Russell Westbrook now. Just get the old band back together. Like, why not?
First of all, I thought Kyrie was for Steve Nash. And now, like, the reports are coming out, he's not. I'm like, dude, which one is it, dude? Like,
he don't know.
Quit playing.
He's gonna sage and think about it.
Dude, he confuses me. He's so talented. He's the best layup maker in the NBA, the best ball handler in the NBA. Like, it's bonkers, bro. How good this kid is, and it's between his ears, man. That's half of sports.
He left LeBron because he wanted a team on his own, right?
And that's fine. I get that.
Goes to Boston, doesn't go the way he wanted, and teams up with KD.
I will add to this. I think he knew LeBron was getting out too, and I think that maybe had
Yeah, but it's like
but if he knew that, maybe he would have. I just think he went out of Cleveland.
Yeah, right.
LeBron was there for a whole nother year, as well.
Dude, I don't know what he was.
So it's just like it doesn't make any sense. I saw a tweet from a fake account. It's like Kendrick. What's his name? Kendrick Perkins burner. And it says Kyrie didn't want to be Robin for LeBron, but now he's Alfred for KD and Harden. Bro, how funny is that? But that's true, man. It's just I don't know how these three guys played well together. I don't
see it.
I don't see Harden buying into a role. I can't.
I hope they do, bro. That'd be so much fun to watch. But
I don't think it's
hard to see, man.
To me, I think Harden is one of the most unbearable superstars to watch on television. I think
that's a hot take.
No, he's really good at basketball, but watching him play gives me anxiety because he just dribbles there with the ball, tween for 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, however many seconds until he feels the need to either pass it to his teammate with 2 seconds left. So his teammate's in a bad spot where he has to chuck a shot. Or he gets in there, tries to do some layup, or he wraps somebody up and gets a foul call. It really frustrates me watching him play because he relies on the whistle and he just throws the ball to his teammates with 2 seconds left.
He was leading the league in assists though.
Well, when you have the ball in your hands 80% of the time, I
don't know how it's going to work.
Give LeBron the ball for 80%. He'll average 18 assists.
When's the last time Harden bought into a role, like played a role?
6-man. Harden,
City.
Like what? 2012.
Before he went to Houston and turned into a strip addict. I hate James Harden. I'm sorry. I cannot.
Now, Troy, we shouldn't hate.
I don't hate him, but I just can't stand him. Like he really irritates me because like the way he treats his teammates. Like every teammate that's come to him, everybody thought Dwight was the problem. Everybody thought Russell was the problem, and now we're starting to figure out. Maybe it was James Harden all along. That
all starts at the top.
I ran into him at a burger spot in downtown Dallas after the game, and I said, "What up, James?" And he looked me in the eye and went, "I was like, I can't hate that guy, man. He's just a good dude."
He didn't even say anything to you.
No.
Hey, you know what they say? Never meet your heroes.
I don't. Yeah. Anyways, it's just it's weird, man. This trade's weird. I hate the idea of super teams. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I don't think super teams are good for the league. I don't.
No. That's why I thought like 90s basketball was the best. You name a team, I'll name you 2 superstars. You know, I mean, it's tough. I mean,
Nowadays, so entertaining.
Like Charles Barkley had a comment a few years ago. He's like, "This is the most talent that's ever been in the league, but it's the worst the league's ever been." And it's because it's like, dude, everybody's wanting to team up together, and there's
it's player empowerment, player movement,
there's like
player
4 or 5 good teams, and everybody else sucks. And I mean, I think it's obviously like the talent's a little bit more spread out now, but it's like,
I agree.
But still, like, I don't want to see 3 superstars that are ball dominant on the same team. I don't. Like, I'd rather see Harden used to his full capacity alongside another solid player. Like if he were to go to Indiana.
He has been the last few years and it ain't worked.
Right, but I would rather watch him do that than watch him stand in a corner, which I don't think he will necessarily. But you get what I'm trying to say.
It's going to be not fun to watch, interesting to watch, especially because I mean, it's going to start with just KD and James. I don't know when Kyrie ever comes back, but.
Now, do you think they did this because they feel like Kyrie potentially is gone?
Yes.
I don't think he's potentially gone.
I think he's gone. I think he's gone from the team, and maybe they deal him. I don't know what happens.
I don't know. Something I heard from Chris Broussard. He said that what the Nets should do is they should contact Kyrie and ask him bluntly, like, "Hey, do you plan to come back? Because if you do,
but what kind of are you going to get out of him?"
I understand.
Knows what he's going to say.
Personally, there was whenever the bubble was going on, and social reform and social injustice was a big topic. He was on the all-player meeting, and he said he would give it all up for social reform and social justice.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
He's been seen sitting in on meetings. I'm kind of with Fred. I think that his playing career, it sounds so much like Kyrie Irving. He's such a weird, mindset. To just retire in the middle of his prime would be such a Kyrie move. And I personally think it fits him. And, if I had to bet what he's doing right now today, I would bet retirement.
And that's fine if the reason for retirement's fighting the social injustices. Like, I get that. Respect that. Please do that. But do that. Don't do other things. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, don't be seen out doing this stuff.
When Kobe died, I saw a video of
Shouts out Kobe.
Rest in peace.
I saw a video of Kobe talking about his relationship with Kyrie, and he said when they won the championship in Cleveland, when they went back to the locker room, Kyrie FaceTimed Kobe immediately. And so, I mean, that's almost a year ago now. And somebody said, I would not be surprised if Kyrie takes this loss really, really hard and retires. And it's like people were expecting him to retire a year ago over the death of Kobe. Now it's like him retiring, I don't think is out of the picture, especially with where his head's at now and everything going on in the world and whatnot. Like, I mean, I get it, Like, I can't.
I hope he figures it out, though, man. I really hope he figures it out.
Kyrie's one of those dudes I can see living in a van and just traveling across the world for like the rest of his life. You know what I mean?
With signs that say
if that's what makes him happy, though, just don't lead on the Nets organization.
But it's like
don't lead on it.
He's one of them dudes, man. One of them dudes. It's like he's going to be living in a small little like 70s style van and just driving across the country, sleeping in like big mountains and stuff like that.
And if that's his dream, go for it. But don't lead the Nets on. Like, just tell him straight up, hey, I want to play. Hey, I don't want to play.
Seriously.
All right, now before we leave, I would like us to all kind of give our playoff prediction for them now, since we kind of have like a certain frame of – we don't have a certain frame of the roster, but as we sit right now, where can you see this team going, or where's their – like, obviously their ceiling.
With or without Kyrie? With or without Kyrie?
With right now, since he's still on roster. Okay. Do you think this is a championship team? Do you think they can push through the Eastern Conference? What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Caleb.
No, Fred, you go first.
Okay, I do think they can.
Fred, you were high on the Nets prior to this trade.
Yes,
so.
I was very high. I think the bench depth, I think they'd have to make a move by the deadline to get a vet, a PJ Tucker or somebody, Trevor Ariza, guys like that. If they want to make a push to the finals, right now, if I had to, say one way or the other, I'd say conference finals. If anything, I think Boston probably edges them out in that regard. But I just think they're too talented not to make it that far. It's just so hard. I just don't know how the personalities are going to go. But if they do click, I mean, they're dangerous. I mean, that's three of the top players in the league. I mean, plain and simple. That's just what it is. I mean,
their defense is a big question now, especially losing Jared Allen.
We got DeAndre Jordan, but I mean, he's aging and
I was about to say
wasn't what he used to be. I like DeAndre Jordan. He was my pick for most improved.
Foul trouble. Who's their backup center? Jeff Green. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, and I honestly think that's the lineup they'll be closing a lot of games with. Jeff Green, KD, and Jeff Green being their big men. Like honestly,
I mean, it's not terrible. I mean,
Grant can guard the post pretty well.
But especially the deeper you get in playoffs, the more defense matters.
Sure.
And so, obviously with the talent, you could easily say they're going to make it to the championship. I think even if they kept all this talent, they're not beating the Lakers. I don't think so.
No, I agree 100%. I made that. I said that in the beginning of the year. I said I don't care how good a team is. Nobody's beating the Lakers this year.
I never made a bold prediction about the Nets because I was like, there's a lot of questions. So they're going to make a trade. How's KD and Kyrie going to look? Whatever. I'll make one now. They don't make the championship. They don't make the finals. I will say I think their defense at the end of the day is going to hurt them. I think chemistry-wise, they're going to butt heads on the floor when games matter because you're going to have three dudes that want to take shots, and if three dudes are even there, if Kyrie's there or not. So I will say they fall short to either Boston or Milwaukee.
And I'm going to go a step further.
Problems too.
I don't think they go to the conference finals. I think that they get beat in the semifinals. I think Milwaukee's better. I think Miami's better. I think the Celtics are, I love this.
I think they're the team to beat in the East right now.
The 76ers are so tough. And the thing about the big man,
Joel
Embiid is playing at an MVP level right now. If Joel Embiid keeps this up and can keep it throughout the playoffs, I think Philly's better. Because
his thing's health. If he stays healthy,
their defense is so tough too. Like they can throw out a lineup that can guard at all five positions other than Embiid. But unless they put in KD at the 5, I mean, you're not really going to have defensive struggles.
You brought up Miami, and just I think I don't know if Miami's necessarily better, but because it's like, dude, how does Miami match up? That's well
coached. Bam can guard all 5. Precious Achiuwa can guard all 5. Goran Dragic.
To start. Put Bam on KD. I mean, that's probably your best bet because I feel like you're gonna have to.
I'd be confident with that personally.
You're gonna have to have Jimmy Butler play better.
The guards. What?
I'd put Jimmy Butler on KD.
Yeah, well, I'm not disagreeing, but you're gonna have to put somebody on one of those guards, and I don't think Tyler Hero could do it. You know what I'm saying?
You'd have to throw out a weird line.
You'd probably have to start Achiuwa and Bam.
Iggy,
so
Iggy can guard still.
Who?
Iggy, Andre Iguodala.
Yeah, you're right.
I'd pick Iguodala.
Oh yeah, I mean,
that's just my gut feeling right now. My gut feeling right now.
I agree with you. I don't even know if I
make the conference finals.
Yeah, I think they don't. I just don't like it. I don't like it.
If they all three work together, they're going. I'm telling you.
With the lack of depth now, Kevin Durant has to play more games, regardless if at the end of the day,
back tonight.
He's going to have to do that more, because with the lack of depth now, they can't afford to lose. With Kyrie now out for a week, they can't afford to lose Kevin Durant, especially during this whole, James Harden's probably have to go through some protocols to join his new team, and then he's going to be out for at least a day. But, I mean, with Mike D'Antoni there, it makes it a little bit easier. They can get reaccustomed. And I didn't think Mike D'Antoni and James Harden liked each other. So I'm like, I thought Mike D'Antoni wanted out because of Harden. So I'm sitting here like, this is just a whole lot of headbutting I can see in their near future with a rookie head coach. And Steve Nash is not aggressive. I've watched a lot of their games. He stands back and lets Jacque Vaughn and Mike D'Antoni really do a lot of the coaching. And he just kind of stands there.
Humble guy, man. Humble guy.
I love Steve Nash, but it's just one of those things.
He's learning, man.
Such a hard situation. My bold prediction, they don't make it out.
Now, depending on if they make any more trades, which I don't know if they necessarily
do. Who they move at this point.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying like maybe buyouts. If
they have no capital.
If they get a couple solid role players and buyout in the buyout market, then I will lean more towards maybe them making like a finals run.
They need a veteran, plain and simple.
Ultimately, I don't see them winning no matter what. So
it's Boston or Phillies, in my opinion.
I mean, it's a whole lot to wrap your mind around. So I think we all agree everybody won this trade. If we had to pick a loser, it's Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, I don't know. It's crazy stuff. I'm interested to see what happens next. It was like one of those things where I felt like it was like the trade deadline. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, what's gonna happen next? Because how big of a deal it was. I was like, okay, what's happening next? So maybe it's Cleveland, maybe it's the Rockets again. But man, this is something. So, any final words?
It's been fun.
I enjoyed it. Fun.
Yeah.
Welcome to the NBA, boys.
Rush straight home to get on here and talk about this, man.
Yes, sir.
Right off work, haven't taken a shower, nothing. I just wanted to break this down.
Had to get this out for the people, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for joining in. See you guys next time.